another gal. My man with sass from another lass. My
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really.
That last one was reaching.
What is it? Well, you're my fellow lad from a different dad. How's that then? Why do I have to throw the British in there? Isn't this like the 4th episode in a row?
Because lad sounds British.
Lad. Wouldn't be called.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, yes,
welcome
hi.
to another episode of Gaming with Intention.
Bodhana-cast.
With the Bodhana-cast. I am one of your hosts, James Kirk, a.k.a. the Captain. Or Captain, if you're not feeling particularly French today.
You don't have a baguette. You're not allowed to be French.
And this guy is...
This guy!
Jack Berkenstock.
Hi.
And he is more important in Bodhana than I am. But he is also one of the other hosts.
Yes, as James, the captain, in his loveliness, kind of intimated, I am Jack Berkenstock. I'm one of the I'm the executive director of the Bodhana Group, and we're a nonprofit that uses games for education, therapy, and skill building. And the Bodhana-cast, or Gaming with Intention, is a show where we review board games and role-playing games from a slightly different edge than what you might be used to on other podcast shows, review shows, etc.
Sorry, I dripped. Hold on.
You must be full. But we review them from the standpoint that if you're a parent looking to use these games constructively with your children, if you're a teacher, if you're a therapist, if you're, just a different way to look at your
If you're a plumber.
If you're a plumber, it's a me.
I think everybody should be included.
So if you're a plumber, that would be if you plumb.
Yes, to plumb.
All right. So, Captain, what are we talking about today?
Well, if I got a deal for you, Jack. Today we're
Don't touch that dot. Wait, dude. Why did we forget? We totally should have gone to Goodwill and got, like, Cosby puke color sweaters. And it would be like, and what do you expect to pay for all of this wonderful? Don't answer yet. No, now that's more like
now you're Robin Leach.
Yes. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
And fantasy.
Again,
today,
ask your parents.
Today,
totally ask your parents.
Today, we are doing Bargain Quest.
Yes.
Bargain Quest is a delightful, fun and light and surprisingly quick to play.
Yeah.
If you have people that know what they're doing and they don't get weighted down by the world, or
by the pressures of retail,
or whatever. So this game is really wonderfully crafted, and the artwork's wonderful, and everything about it is wonderful. I'm going to say that a lot.
All right. Let me give him a basic overview here.
Jack is going to give you a basic overview. Take it away, Jack.
I just said that. Don Adams, talk to your parents. That's a horrible Don Adams
twice.
impression. That is.
That's also twice, like within a minute
I'm
and
going
a
to reach
half.
my quota. I get commission for this, right?
No.
Damn. All right, so back to Bargain Quest. So this game came out in 2017. It was designed by Jonathan Ying, who is actually a game designer of quite a few different titles. This was self-published, and basically the game is between 30 to 60 minutes to play. Age ranges 8 and up. And the number of players between 2 to 6, and the Board Game Geek recommended sweet spot is 4 players. We will also mention, and we will remind you towards the end of this, that actually we're doing this interview a couple different reasons. One, we were very kind to receive a donated copy of the game from the designer himself, so thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you!
We're going to make sure to reach out and give you kind of an advanced C of this review.
Wait, hold on. I got it.
An event. Oh, you're reaching out,
I did not reach far enough.
You did not.
He did not hear from me.
That's punny.
We will try it
so
again
punny.
later.
I can't believe how punny it is. But seriously, not only thank you, Jonathan, for sending a copy of this for us to review, but for those who are kind of motivated by this, there is currently a second printing of this game going up on Kickstarter with the expansions, which is a black market expansion, and a couple. Yeah, it is definitely worth it, as you're going to find out.
There's like promo packs too, right?
Yes, yes, with like additional, and we'll get into what all of the. We'll get into all of the particulars about this game, but yes,
in about 10 minutes.
In about 10 minutes, when Jack is finished. Tweet. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I think I said it.
Okay, and everybody out there felt it. So, basics of the game. James, why don't you take us on a whirlwind tour of Bargain Quest?
So Bargain Quest takes you to the wonderful town, did it again, of whatever you want to name it. Honestly, there's no real, I don't think there's like an actual town name in
I don't
the
believe,
rule book.
maybe
remember.
it's the Townsville.
Sure, Townsville, U.S.
That was from a cartoon.
Fantasy.
The
Yes.
people of Townsville.
You are a shop owner, and you have a shop where you are displaying glorious equipment and weaponry and armor in an attempt to get heroes that are coming to your town to visit your shop. You are equipping said heroes so that they can go out and defeat the monster so that it doesn't eat your home and you in the process.
Yes.
Or make everything terrible
Monsters
and unlivable.
do that.
Monsters will do
They
that.
do. That's why they're monsters.
So, everybody selects items to put in their shop window, attracts the heroes that they want to have come to their shop, equip them, and then send them out against the bad guy. And at that point, honestly, really not that big of a deal if the heroes survive or not. Because you're a shop owner! Retail!
Money, 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 money!
That's what you care about.
Money.
Wow.
Did I go too far?
No,
Yet
that's
again?
fine. That's fine.
That was good?
It's fine. We're good.
Money!
It's too far. Now it's too far.
Floyd is too far?
Yep. We don't have time.
We don't
Pink
have
Floyd's
time?
songs are like 12 minutes
that's
long.
True. If there would be Pink Floyd's song about barking, it would go forever.
Comfortably Numb is the shortest song. And I think it's because they fell asleep and they just decided to stop playing.
They were very numb.
So, that's the basics of Bargain Quest.
Yeah.
You attempt to make your shop as attractive as possible to get heroes to come and then get them to spend as much of their money as they can.
Yeah. So one of the kind of interesting parts to this when we're, talking about the different heroes that you're going to get is there are different icons that appear to represent the different heroes. So you have icons that like indicates a magic user or a fighter or a rogue.
The Bard is Mick Jagger.
No, he is not. Do not lie to the good people in Podcastville. Podcast Land?
Podcast Land.
Podcast Land. Is Podcastville like the...
Townsville is where this is at. Podcast Land is where everybody listens.
Pete Townsland.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. No, you said icons. I figured the Bard Mick Jagger seemed to make sense.
The Bard Mick Jagger. So, you totally threw me off my spot. So, yes, there are different symbols, on the card that will denote the type of adventurer that you are trying to attract in your shop. And each of the items that you have a selection of these symbols as well. So the kind of the weird rub to this game and some of the weird things that we're going to talk about with what skills it builds to is that you have to be careful because unless you have like a specialty card that allows you to, you can't sell the item that's in your window because that's like just to draw them into the store. But then further, you can only sell items to that hero, A, if the symbols match, or if they have enough money for it. Because every hero starts out in town, they kind of like swinging in town, I hear there's monsters to fight, man. So they have like 25 gold or whatever. And you're like, well,
or if you get the noble, but he's stupid. Alright, go ahead.
He thinks he can buy his way into combat. So yeah, the whole idea is you sell the heroes as much as you can. You do, basically the game is played in 6 different rounds. So you get supply, which is where you draft, which is another interesting mechanic to this game that really helps drive it forward. So you draft for the equipment, so you pretty much keep what you want. You're already looking at the heroes that are out there. So you kind of develop this advanced strategy of who you want to get and who you want to bring in, but also what you might be able or not be able to sell them later on down the road. So after you draft for supplies, you choose your display card. Then you invite the hero into your shop. Then you shop. And once the hero comes in, you sell them their gear. You go and everybody then kind of steps out of the shop, kind of like representing your brand like some weird like fantasy version of NASCAR. Yeah, it was just... so then they go out and they do adventuring. There's basically a to-hit number that you need to meet or beat. Then there is a being hit number that your defense and attack ratings need to match. So basically, this is how you get victory points, which is part of how you win at the end of the game.
That is how you win at the end of the game.
Well,
unless you're
not
looking
just
for
victory points,
Pyrrhic or moral victories, then yes.
Pyrrhic victories. Woo.
Fancy.
Someone's chomping on a thesaurus this morning.
So Jack and I have been going back and forth, and we decided that today, while explaining Bargain Quest, we would also continue the game that we've been playing, which is I'm going to name 2 celebrities, and Jack's going to do the same thing to me.
Uh-huh.
And we have to come up with the item that we would have to put in our store window to get them to come to our store.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we've been shooting back and forth today. Jack, your first celebrity...
What are you going to do to me? What are you going to do? Is it going to hurt?
You'll be fine.
Okay. I trust you.
Your first celebrity, although deceased, is Jim Henson.
Okay, so saying necromancer would totally be a bad thing to say.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If Jim Henson was alive and you had to get him to your store, what would you put in the store window? To be like, come hither, Jim Henson.
A rainbow.
Oh, that's a beautiful connection.
See? But
right.
Sincerely though, you do know that's one of the true, like another one of the reasons why, my brother from another mother.
We get that.
We have fanboy love for Jim Henson because he's,
BFAM, for those of you that do acronyms.
What is B? Wait, BFAM sounds like the worst brand of honey ever. It's like, yo, you gotta check this out on your bread, man. Put it in your tea, BFAM. Buzz, buzz. Yeah, I even wrote the jingle.
Oh, that's awful.
Buzz, 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 cuz BFAM honey. No?
I'm so sorry that this happened. I'll have to shut my mouth from now on. Okay,
so wait, do you want your celebrity? Like,
No, I'm going to give you your second one.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you your second one.
Closing.
Yeah, your second celebrity. This might be a little more difficult. Andy Kaufman. Ask your parents.
For that answer, I have to say thank you very much. Ibita. This is weird because I've been watching tons of freaking Taxi reruns.
That's why I asked it.
Wow. How would I attract Andy Kaufman to my? I would try to find a copy of the Intergender Wrestling Championship belt. I would locate who has it to this day.
Okay.
Because if anything, that was a title that he was quite proud of.
Yeah.
When he did his whole wrestler thing there, this boy you wrestled down in Memphis, Mr. Lawler. It was like this whole big thing back then. And that was even before wrestling was like a major thing.
Yeah.
And he totally faked getting smacked in the face by Jerry Lawler and David Letterman. That was totally staged.
What do you got for me? Because they don't care.
Oh, yeah, they don't. Okay. All right. So following in, I'm going to kind of go a little bit similar.
Oh, God.
Okay? Yes. Somewhat similar.
Okay.
So if you had to attract as a celebrity, again, if he was still alive today,
okay,
Mel Blanc, man of 1,000 voices, what would you put in your shop window to attract Mel Blanc?
Kraft mac and cheese.
Why Kraft mac and cheese?
As I understand, it was a favorite of his.
Oh, really? Will raise my rent. All right. Okay. Wow. I'm just like, wow. So this is the closest we've come to being a research-driven podcast. It's because you know that, all right, hey, he's actually secretly winning that war 1-0.
But who's keeping score?
Yeah. So your second one is we both think kind of two of the guys that were kind of like our surrogate fathers when we were growing up. Is I will actually pick another one of my favorites. And again, this is going to harken back to a previous episode of the Bodhana-cast, Christopher Lloyd.
How would you get him to your store?
Well, Marty. Oh God, Christopher Lloyd.
Yes. Please pick up what I'm sending out to you right now.
A can of potpourri.
Not what I would have thought, but please, I am intrigued.
Because he's been in everything.
See, I was going to say toilet paper. Great Scott!
Oh my God! Nobody uses Scott toilet paper!
Why? What's wrong with Scott? It's got a lot of good qualities to it.
I'm gonna bail on this conversation.
Oh,
yes! Slider! Alright.
Oh, snap!
So,
Did people say snap?
well, they do now.
Okay, I'm bringing it back.
Some of the possible side effects that can happen while playing Bargain Quest, aside
Yes.
from what we just did, which
We
could
are now
actually
sucked.
possibly be a side effect. You cannot, in your home or where you work, put up a sign that says +1 storage upgrade and actually make more room in your storage facility.
May I see
That you
the
may not
storage
see.
facility?
Because you did not say the magic word.
And what is the magic word, Mr. Captain?
You're next.
Oh, yes, I am. You're going to find it hard to understand how fellow employees leave after just one shift. And again, when we talk about some of the inner strategy mechanics, that'll become a little bit more ever-present. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of side effects.
Also, your store hours are not based on when monsters are coming to town.
That would actually be pretty cool if it was.
Don't refer to any of your customers as potential heroes.
Yeah, you probably say, and I guess
That's overstating things.
yeah, and be very cautious about sending any of your regular customers out to fight monsters. Like, you know, if you're like a corner grocery store, I mean, mac and cheese is wonderful. I don't know if it could fight off a dragon.
I don't
or
think
vampire queen or pirates.
I don't really think that the milkmaid and the baloney lady
The baloney
are gonna team up well. To go.
I would love to see that comic or cartoon.
Milkmaid and the baloney lady.
Milkmaid and the baloney lady coming this season to Disney Kids.
One of the unannounced titles that the MCU is going to be dropping. You heard it here first.
Milkmaid and the baloney lady. Okay, who would play, just as a final wrap, who would play Milkmaid and the baloney lady in a movie? I think Gina Davis needs to come back.
Gina Davis as the baloney lady.
Okay.
And the milkmaid would be oh god. Kathy Bates.
Nice.
Kathy Bates and Gina Davis as milkmaid and the baloney lady.
Just like a fine fisherman, we've casted it here.
See what I did? I just printed money.
Yeah, right there.
That's what happened.
Please. Just drop us a little nod or, check would be good.
Kevin Feig.
Good ideas start here. Okay, so with our little intermission of jokings and such, first thing, before we go into a lot of the benefits, because this is a part of the show where, we give you kind of a rough overview of what the game entails, just to kind of give you like a little toe dip, if you will. But what we talk about now is some of the finer points or mechanics of the game and how these are beneficial, educational. So, first thing, and we always kind of touch on this, is again, the first thing that catches your eye about this game is the art is fantastic. Like, it's very structured. It follows a very definitive theme. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor.
I'm trying to think of the thing that it was. The deck builder that we played, the School for Girls.
Oh, Miskatonic School for Girls.
Miskatonic School for Girls.
Yeah.
Very similar art style, I think. To that game.
Yeah, comedic yet thematic. Very well done. The game comes, it's, very decent kind of standard stuff. You have these little boards that represent your shop, and it's actually very good for the teaching aspect of the game because it has spaces where you're going to put your shop upgrades. Then you're going to have a space for your employees, which is all part of your upgrade phase. You have your display area clearly marked, and
it gives you a turn order at the bottom of the thing, like it's all
phenomenal.
And then you can close it, and you get to see what your shop looks like on the outside. Or BQ, because it's not quite barbecue without the other B.
The other B?
Barbecue, yeah, BBQ.
Barbecue.
BBQ.
I got
right.
you. So,
how does this help us, Jack?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different ways that this do. I mean, on a very basic level, especially for younger players, there's color recognition, there's pattern recognition. So, I mean, that's also a nice thing about the game is that you don't have to rely exclusively on color to keep this out. So, you know, for those who are colorblind, this game is very accessible, which is always a nice thing to note because it's not something that a lot of games do. So there's a lot of, in the strategy, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of, you don't really know what's going to happen. Because when you're laying out your items in your display area, one of the things that we want to talk about now is not only... One of the things that we wanted to talk about now, as far as an additional mechanic is, in addition to the cards having symbols that kind of tell you what different type of adventure is going to come into town, there are also hearts on a lot of the equipment. So you're actually trying to kind of play with different...
It is not how much you love the equipment.
It's like, oh, you're my favorite backpack ever. No, it's basically... How attractive is it to others, really? So it's because it basically comes down to the first, the player gets to choose which adventurer goes into their shop first. That is the player with the most hearts. And they have a lot of very interesting, like, if there's a tie for hearts, then it goes to, the
cost of the item. Which one has more inherent value between them, and then that one gets the first pick. And sometimes you can afford going later, and taking a hero later on in the selection process, or you want to be the first one because your hand is really limited and you can only really sell to one or two of the heroes that are out there, and you might have to cough up a more expensive item that you wanted to sell to be able to get money, just to be able to get that hero to come into your shop. So there's definitely like a risk-reward mechanic here.
Yeah, very much so.
And there's some unknowns. Before when you send the heroes out, after you've purchased, they've purchased all their stuff, because each hero brings an amount of money with them. So you know how much each hero has to spend in your shop. So maybe don't bring the broke guy into your shop, right? Like, you don't want the guy that's got 10 gold, you want the one that's got 30 gold. Because he's also got a better chance of surviving. So once they get all of their equipment, they go out to go fight the monster. There are tiny little cards that are passed out to everybody. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. They're they're just small things. But each person gets one of these modifiers, and we don't know what they are until they get into the combat. And it might be things like foolhardy, where you get big bonuses to your stuff because you're like super brave and you're awesome.
There's your modifier.
That's my modifier?
So now you are...
Awesome! I came to fight!
So you definitely did not miss out on anything in that.
I did not.
I'm brave, so I now have golden red hair, red dresses.
Wow!
Good night, everybody. All right, yeah, but I'm good with the bow. But
great.
The cool thing about this is, remember when we had said earlier about when you go to adventure and fight the monster, these up or lower whatever your attack or defense values are, and that also is something that the equipment is different. Sometimes, actually, your fighters themselves will have special abilities. And also, we didn't really talk too much about this, but we, going to bring it in here, the upgrade phase of when it is that you're buying. So, you have basic upgrades, because normally, towards the end of your turn, you store items kind of for the next wave of business, right? So, one of the cool factors with that is, I can buy an upgrade letting me store more than one item, or I can buy an upgrade that lets me display more than one item at a time. So you can kind of modify the play experience and, give yourself a little bit of a leg up, as it were. Now, also, you get to buy employees, and some of these are kind of funny. So
you can buy a burglar that you're literally just paying the guy to go to another player's store and steal one of their items, and then the burglar goes away.
Yep, one shift done. There's also like thugs. There's also like guards who.
I enjoyed the thug. The thug beats up one of the heroes. It's like, you're not adventuring anymore today. You know what? I want to hire the thug to go fight. Clearly, he's better than the hero. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say enough about the fact that, I mean, we kind of joke about this on Gaming with Intention, the fact that almost every game is virtually a strategy
critically
game.
thought.
Yeah, critical thinking, strategery. But I mean, the main thrust of this is this whole idea of risk versus reward. So you gotta try to act fast to be able to get in. Whatever your digs are. A lot of fans of people who are more traditional kind of Euro fare may not appreciate the game as much as others because of the fact there is, more than a couple elements of random that are going to go through. You don't exactly know what the items are that you're going to get unless you're learning the deck. Also, like who comes next up in the hero order, things like that. But, I mean, I got to say that on the same hand, it's a game that's very fun and easily picked up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we learned it. I mean, the rulebook itself is not complicated. Each step is spelled out, and it's very basic.
It is nice that they thought ahead for people that may not be able to discern color, that they have symbols for the heroes so that you can easily identify what's what on both your cards and the hero cards. And you're not at any kind of a disadvantage for doing that. They put some thought into the production value for it to make sure that the art was crisp and that it looked good and it had a theme. I'm excited for the expansion. I really want to see what a black market would add to this.
Yeah, I mean, because there are a few little nods here and there as far as for like if you're a fantasy role playing gamer. There's a lot of, nice...
There's some referential humor things,
yeah. So
absolutely.
definitely, I mean, an incredibly well-thought-out game that definitely will not disappoint when you bring it to the table. It's also kind of great for teaching counting, teaching math. Also with the economics piece, there is a little bit kind of you can't completely sell everything you have. There's a limit, so there's kind of a supply and demand curve going on here.
Yeah.
It's kind of basic. Sometimes you gotta, use certain products to get people interested in buying. I mean, it opens up, as we normally talk with a lot of games, the way for a lot of conversation about what's going to come through. But, Bargain Quest, make the jump right now to check out the Kickstarter. Again, just Bargain Quest. It's the second printing of the game because it's a very, very, very hard to find game.
We also, after looking it up, I got to tell you, if you wanted like the whole kit and caboodle, the base game, all the expansions and things that they're offering, really affordable for getting it.
Yeah.
Check out prices and see what you want to do. But I would absolutely, if we didn't already have this, I totally would have backed it for the whole thing. Because it's really phenomenal. It's a wonderful game.
Yeah, can't recommend it enough. It's actually, again, with the age ranges, easy enough that most of it, I mean, a little bit of reading for younger kids, especially on some of the employee cards. But other than that, the symbols and the simple math will really kind of drive that young players can really get a lot out of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely a good family game. Definitely, something if you want that lighter fare on your board game night, Not everything's got to be, Risk Legacy or, what the heck is that other one? Imperium?
Oh, Twilight Imperium.
Twilight Imperium 4, The Reckoning.
Twilight,
Wow.
They call it Twilight Imperium because no matter what time of day you start playing, it is always Twilight when you're done.
Yes, definitely. But no, thank you again to Jonathan Ying, the developer and designer of this game. We are going to make sure to have links put up in the show notes, as well as during this broadcast, of how to find the Kickstarter page for Bargain Quest. I think that's pretty much all that we have for this. I don't believe that there's anything major that we've missed.
No, not for the game. So for the Bodhana Group, it is now, as of this recording, 8 weeks until Save Against Fear. The yearly convention this year, Save Against Fear 8. It's in the 80s. I love it when a con comes together.
Totally, dude.
We have bathrooms.
Yeah. No! It's come for the games, stay for the bathrooms. That was your catchphrase.
I'm constantly changing it, dude.
Your catchphrase.
Marketing is all about morphing. You
I'm
have
like
to
a
change.
moving target. I'm moving
You
target.
have to be liquid. Although that's gross when talking about bathrooms.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a briefly be water, my friend.
Yeah.
Be water.
I flow.
You flow.
I'm like
Kiss my grits.
I'm like a leaf
Speaking
on the
of
wind.
80s.
Ha
Oh, yeah, see, it works
Ask
both
your parents. So, you can check out all of the information for Save Against Fear at Bodhana's website, www.bodhanagroup.org. And be able to pre-register. That's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sessions are going to fill up. Not like Szechuan. That's Chinese food. Sessions, not Jeff. And then be able to get into the games that you want to. And stay for the games. And use the bathrooms. Which apparently Jack has to do. I'd also like to thank Wicked Turtle Productions for hosting on their site, guys. We love you, Wicked Turtle. Yeah, Wicked Turtle.
All right.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Also want to mention thank you to our major sponsor of Save Against Fear this year, which is Legendary Pants. Legendary Pants is a wonderful website, not only with game design, blog articles, materials, and all that you need really to kind of enhance your gaming. So please make sure to check them out, legendarypants.net.
It is the gravy to the biscuits of playing games.
That is... Why don't you work on Madison Avenue?
Marketing!
I'm going to move over here for a little bit.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, okay, so I'll stay here then. Thank you all for tuning in. I, as always, am one of your lovely hosts, Jack Berkenstock, Executive Director of the Bodhana Group.
And I, as always, am James Kirk, the other host of Gaming with Intention for the Bodhana Group, not the Executive Director, because there's only one of them. And he is it.
And he is me, and you and I are all together.
Yes, we are,
Snoop.
do you have anything else you want to say before we head out for this evening?
Head out?
No. I actually have one more thing to say.
Oh, no.
We are not a
Don't say
research-driven
bathroom.
podcast. The score is still 0-0.
No, it's
I have no actual idea if Mel Blanc liked Kraft macaroni and cheese.
You're absolutely evil. You're totally evil.
Crushing dreams and using bathrooms.
Good night, everybody. And
stay for the games.
please, be excellent to each other and your bathroom.